Hi everybody, this is Johnny Vasquez, founder of New Stitch A Day, and in today's episode I'm going to teach you how to graft garter stitch horizontally. How to knit. How to graft garter stitch horizontally. For this tutorial, you will need a pair of knitting needles. Special thanks to our sponsor Skacel for providing today's needles. Today we are using their Addy Lace Interchangeable Clicks in the size 8. A darning needle, and a ball of yarn. When you're working on a pattern like our sidewinder pattern that we have that's all knit garter stitch, sometimes you'll want to seam them together so that you have a seamless look to it. And this hat is all garter stitch, and so to make it look like one nice finished piece, we're going to seam the garter stitch, and you would use a method that's very similar to the Kitchener stitch, only we're going to modify it slightly so that we can do this for garter stitch. Now just a quick note, in this pattern we're going to end up with our working yarn at the end on our front needle here. Now you can either cut the yarn with a little bit extra to weave in and then attach a new yarn to seam up the end separately starting from the back, or like what we'll do here, we're just going to weave it once through the back to begin, and then we will work our pattern as we normally would, and this should work out pretty much the same as if we were starting from the back as we usually would in this pattern. So step 1, we want to make sure that the stitches that are facing us on both needles are the purl stitches of our row here. So this is the wrong side row. We want that on both sides. We want the purl stitch right up next to the needle. We also want to make sure that our needles are facing the same direction and that we have an even number of stitches on each needle so that they match up, because we'll have to work off in pairs. So for step 2, we're going to take our thread or tail of our yarn that we've threaded a darning needle through, and we are going to insert it into the first stitch on our main needle purlwise. Okay, we're going to pull that tight. We're going to leave that stitch on our needle. For step 3, we're going to insert our needle into the first stitch on our back needle purlwise and pull that tight as well, and we will keep that on the needle too. So for step 4, we're going to get into our main rhythm here, and what we'll be doing is a repeat that will be knit, purl, knit, purl. So that's the easiest way to remember what you'll be doing when you're going through each of these stitches. So we'll start out by going through the first stitch on the front needle knitwise, and we're going to pull this tight and we're going to drop that stitch off of the needle. Okay, just like that. Now for step 5, we are going to insert our needle into the purl stitch, or the next stitch on our main needle in front, and go purlwise. Okay, and we're going to leave that stitch on our needle. For step 6, we will insert our needle into the first stitch on the back needle and pull tight, and we will also pull that stitch off of our needle. Okay, then for our back stitch, the next stitch here for step 7, we will go through the next stitch on the back needle purlwise and pull that tight as well. So we're going to repeat steps 4 through 7 until we finish binding off all of our stitches on both needles. So I'm just going to demonstrate another set here. So we've knit and now we're purling. Then we're going to knit again, pull that off, and then pull tight, and purl once more after that. And we'll just continue that cycle of knit, purl, knit, purl. So when we reach the end of our row here, we are going to have 2 stitches left. And so we are going to work like we normally would, going with the purl stitch in front. And then here we would normally be pulling this stitch off, which if we've worked through it purl-wise already, then that's fine. That's what we would do. Now if we haven't, then we'll purl through there first. Then we're going to come through knitwise on the front. And then we'll go knitwise through the top. Okay, and we'll just pull that tight, and then we can weave in our ends. And now we can see that we've got a pretty nice, fairly seamless garter stitch seam here that's almost not even noticeable. So that's how we graft garter stitch together. Want more New Stitch a Day? Check out our website at newstitchaday.com.